and welcome back to episode 3 of Flip of a Coin, the docu-series. As you know, I'm Jamie, and I'm going to be talking today about recovery and treatment and my experience as well as the importance of it. Just for a disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or a licensed psychologist or anything. I'm just merely a survivor of obsessive compulsive disorder who really wants to make a difference in the mental health community and provide my knowledge and my experience to hopefully inspire all of you. So back in episode 1 of Flip of a Coin, the docu-series, I talked about my experience with obsessive compulsive disorder, and I talked about just my story with it. I didn't really elaborate on the recovery and what I've done to overcome it and become stronger because of it. So that's what I want to focus on this episode. For anyone watching, this doesn't have to be just for obsessive compulsive disorder. This could be for any mental illness, for anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. These are just some tips that I have learned throughout my journey with mental illness, as well as the importance of getting help and getting treatment and not suffering in silence. Before we get totally started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, give me a thumbs up, and be sure to share, and comment down below to keep this channel growing and growing. So now with glee, here comes episode 3. So getting help and getting treatment is extremely important. There are so many people who suffer in silence and are so afraid to come out about what they're dealing with because of the stigma surrounding mental health. In fact, there is a study done by multiple mental health organizations that between the time that someone first is experiencing symptoms and the time they actually go and get help, that duration in between is usually about 10 to 11 years. Also, some other facts and statistics for you is that 1 in 5 adults in America are diagnosed with a mental illness, and 1 in 25 adults in America are diagnosed with a severe mental illness. Out of those, only 36 to 37% get help. So that means that there's 63 to 64% of those people who are not getting help. Suicide, as you know, is a crisis in America. It is the second leading cause of death between the ages of 10 to 34, and someone loses their life to suicide every 12 minutes. Those are alarming facts and statistics, ones that I wish I completely made up, but unfortunately they are true. I do want to talk about, again, the importance of getting help and getting treatment. For me, it started with my family. Luckily, my mom has been my rock, has been my lifesaver throughout everything. I've been able to go to her with everything. And honestly, without her, I don't know what I would have done. So the importance of having a person or just someone that you can talk to and who will listen to you and won't just disregard you, but will actually help get you through the times that you're dealing with is essential. I know it sounds very cliche, but having someone to lean on really is a very important part of recovery, at least for me. I don't know what I would have done if my mom wasn't always encouraging me to fight my demons. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive people, you're surrounding yourself with people who are going to lift you up. Another person I want to talk about in this video is my psychiatrist. I haven't seen a psychiatrist since the age of 7 or 8. I've been on so many medications, and my psychiatrist has never given up on me. There have been so many times throughout my life that I've said to him, like, I'm losing hope. What if I don't ever get better? And he is the one who says, there's always hope. There is always hope. So without him, I obviously don't know what I would have done either. He is always there. So finding the right doctor and the right psychiatrist is so important as well to recovery. If you find the right doctor and you find the right treatment, their ultimate goal is to see you succeed in life and to be happy. They don't want to watch you fall down. I know it's very hard to open up to someone about everything you're dealing with. Just remember that they are there to help you, and the first medication may not work, the second may not work, the third may not work, but something is going to work. Also, I would like to point out my support group as well. I have my own support group, as you guys know, Flip of a Coin support group, but there's also a bunch of support groups on Facebook. Social media is as you know, a huge thing nowadays. So there's a lot of support groups that you can utilize, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in those support groups who can lead you to different directions on your road to recovery. So it has taken, I'm 21 years old right now, and it wasn't until age 18 to 19, closer to 19 though, that I can finally say I appreciate my obsessive compulsive disorder, and I respect it, and I know that without it I wouldn't be who I am. While I don't define as it, I know that it is part of what makes me who I am. And if you would have asked me basically at any age in my life, I would have said, I wish I was never born with it, I wish it would go away, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And while I do hate it in a lot of ways, I'm also at the point in my life where I realized how much it has helped me and benefited me. And I think once you realize and self-accept that you do have this part of you that maybe isn't quote unquote ideal, it still makes up your character and still makes up who you are. Once you accept yourself for who you are, it becomes so much easier. I know, again, that sounds cliche, but we all have stuff about us that we wish we could change. And for 18 years, I wish that I could change my OCD. My OCD has definitely caused me a lot of heartache, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of freakouts, a lot of irrational thinking, a lot of tears. It's cost me a lot in my life, but I realized that I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am without it. So whatever you're dealing with, just know that you really are given these battles for a reason. You're given these battles to overcome them, and you're given these battles because you're going to rise up on top, and it's going to make you stronger, because once you can overcome your mind, nothing can stop you. Well, unfortunately, there is so much stigma surrounding mental illness, and unfortunately people just don't understand the exact pain it causes and how debilitating it is. It can be more debilitating than a broken leg, but because you can't see it, it's somehow deemed less real, and that's very frustrating. You feel very trapped, because not only are you trapped inside your head, but you feel like you're trapped inside of a society that doesn't understand you. And that's why, like I said, it's so important to have people that you can lean on, to have people in your circle that are there for you, to have professional help, whether that be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a therapist. Getting help looks different for everyone. I have come up with so many coping mechanisms that have helped me through dark times. I'm a very active person, so anything revolving activity, like I said, dancing, working out, maybe practicing some of my acting, doing meditation, doing yoga, drawing, poetry. I do so much artistic work when I'm at my worst, because I just let my emotions pour out. And over that time, it has really helped having those outlets. Another coping mechanism that I want to bring attention to is sensory, and using your senses to get through an anxiety attack. So for example, if I'm breaking down and I'm crying and I'm freaking out and I have racing thoughts going all in my head, there's this thing called a sensory exercise where, for example, let's take this scarf that I'm wearing right now. I would, in the midst of my breakdown, I would take this scarf and I would say, okay, what color is this scarf? Okay, it's light pink, dark pink, green, and black. Cool, now what does it feel like? Well, it's soft, it's not like silky though, maybe it's cotton. Okay, can you see through it? Not really, I mean a little bit. I guess I can kind of see through it. What's the design on it? Oh wow, there's pretty flowers on it. How does it feel against my skin? It feels really nice, it feels warm, it feels comforting, it feels like someone's just giving me a little hug. Using your senses not only detracts your brain from the thoughts going inside your head, but also brings it to something that's real. Because right now, what you're thinking, at least with OCD, a lot of times it's not real. They're irrational, intrusive thoughts that make no sense. So bringing your attention to something that's real can help that tremendously, because I can actually hold this, I can touch this, I can feel this, I can look at it, I can bend it. It's a real thing that I can see. My thoughts are anything but that. So bringing your brain back to reality while using your senses is a really great coping mechanism that has helped me through many, many, many attacks. So I definitely recommend that to you if you are dealing with and again, any kind of mental health issue, I think that that's very important to be able to use your senses. And it could just be things around the room, like name 5 brown things. Okay, well, my curtain in front of me is brown. I have a picture frame over there that's brown. I have my calendar has a brown background because it's nature. There's a box over there that's brown, and there's a plaque that's brown over there. So just doing that, and again, bringing your senses back to reality and focusing on things that are real and right in front of you is extremely beneficial. Another coping mechanism that I found has worked over, this one takes a little bit longer to master because it's kind of like retraining your thoughts. Back when I was like 6 to 8 years old, maybe even 9, 10, I was so obsessed with death, and in a really bad way. I would think about death and I would have breakdowns, so scared to die, thinking about so many disturbing thoughts related to death, having disturbing images related to death. It was just a really rough time, and for years I had these breakdowns over death, and it was awful. And then what I started doing was every time that I thought about death, I would think about something that made me really, really happy. So for me, that was dancing and being on the stage, especially around 8 and 9, when I really was on the stage more and more. I would think about a moment on stage and the moment of feeling invincible and happy and like, this is my moment. So every time that thought of death would come in, I would instantly think about the time on stage. So I would have a bad thought and a good thought, kind of like this. And it wouldn't stop me from breaking down at first. For the first month or so, I would think about this, but the death would always overpower and I would end up breaking down. It's okay, that's normal. But over time, every time I thought about death, I thought about this, and they would start to kind of like push each other. This would try to, this is the bad side. This would try to win, but I'm like, wait, but think about this happy time on stage, think about this happy time on stage. And over time, over the course of months, what happened was this side started overpowering the death side. So then whenever I thought about death, I was just like, nope, think about this time on stage. Nope, think about this time on stage. Nope. Again, this is not an overnight process. This may take 50 times of doing it, but when that bad thought comes in, if you can think of that positive thought, that actually can eventually overpower that bad thought. So it's almost like those Pavlov's dogs, where every time he would ring a bell, they would get a treat. So every time they heard a bell, they would open their mouths. It's kind of the exact same thing, but inside your brain. I really do just want to, again, heighten the importance of getting help, whether it's with a professional or just start, if you're still new to coming out about your mental illness, to just talk to a family member, talk to your best friend. That's the whole point of my support group, is being the friend that everybody needs. And it's very scary. You feel very alone, and that's the worst thing that you can feel, is alone during those times. So please, please, please don't be one of those 63 to 64% who don't get help. Be the 36 to 37% who do get help, because getting help is life-changing, and it may be scary. It may take you 10 visits before you can completely open up to someone, but take an active step towards getting help, because no one deserves to fight mental illness alone, and no one should have to fight mental illness alone. As a survivor of severe obsessive compulsive disorder and severe depression, the biggest advice I would give you is to, number one, accept that this is a part of you, and accept that this is part of what makes you who you are. And number two, talk about it and get help, because it does get easier and it does get better. I can say now I am living a productive life. I am living a life where my parents and my boyfriend and so many people have told me that I've accomplished more in my 21 years than they've seen most 50-year-olds accomplish. I am living, even with my demons, I'm living a very productive and very purposeful life. So just know, take it from me who has been there, that it does get better, and you can get help. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to do that. Yes, there is a stigma, but that stigma is breaking, and the more that you talk about it, the more that you break that stigma. Please, please, please talk about it and be open with it, and it will change your life. And know that mental illness does not have to stop you. Mental illness does not have to break you. Mental illness does not have to destroy your life. Looking at it like it's a gift and a curse. A lot of times mental illness, it's both a little bit of a curse, but it's also a gift. So start looking at the brighter side of things, of living with a mental health disorder. And I know with me, a huge bright thing that's come from it is my willingness to help others, and this is why this whole channel is here now. So as always, please, if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. I'm also attaching links to my past videos that you can check out. And of course, please keep commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, and helping this channel grow and grow and grow. And if you do want to volunteer to share your story and help break the stigma against mental health, please comment down below, or please reach out to me. We can break the stigma together, one step at a time. Thank you all for watching. I hope that this was informative. I hope that this was a little bit uplifting. I hope that this encourages you to talk to people and to get help and to realize that you are not alone no matter what you're dealing with. This concludes episode 3 of the Avoiding the Doctor series. Again, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you all soon for episode 4.